Some tourists in Munich have surely stood at Sendlinger Tor, the former southern city gate, at some point. But what exactly is Sendling? Well, today Sendling is a district south of Munich. If you follow Lindwurmstraße, which starts at Sendlinger Tor, you'll eventually reach the district. Back when the Isar Tor was still part of a defensive fortification, Sendling was of course still a village, but more on that later. Today Sendling is the stomach of Munich. That's because this is where, as the unusual street markings indicate, the Munich Wholesale market is located. Since 1912, wholesalers have been selling flowers and food for the city of Munich here. There's hardly a potato or tomato in Munich that hasn't made a stop here. While the city is still asleep, this place is already in full motion. In 1869, the railway line over the Brenner Pass to Italy was completed. This allowed the citizens of Munich to enjoy what were then considered exotic crops for the first time. As a result, Munich now needed a distribution hub, where these perishable goods could be quickly distributed. The idea of the wholesale market hall was born. Meat was sold on the northern side of the railroad tracks at the slaughterhouse in the Isarvorstadt district. While slaughterhouse operations there have been since ceased, the Munich wholesale market still supplies retail stores and bulk buyers with fresh vegetables and flowers. Every day around 1,000 tons of goods are handled here, and approximately 3,000 people work directly or indirectly on the 310,000 square meters site. After a hard day's work, you naturally need to refuel. Many swear that the Großmarkthalle restaurant served the best Weißwurst in town. But I arrived a little too early. Das Klohäuschen is located at the western entrance to the wholesale market. Until the 1990s, vendors could use the public restroom here. It remained closed for years afterward. Until 2004, when artist Anja Uhlig took on the Klohäuschen and transformed it into a space for art, events and culture of all kinds. If you spend all day giving guided tours of the city, your feet can start to hurt after a while. But not mine, because I have sneakers from Giesswein. Okay, that was just a promotional text, but I thought I'd just share how the partnership with Giesswein came about. I've actually been wearing Giesswein shoes for a while now, and have tested them on 8-hour city tours. I'm not a huge creator, but I figured I'd just reach out to them. The brand is a good fit for me. Shoes are my most important working tool. Some days I walk on hard cobblestones for over 8 hours straight. Besides the quality, what I love about Giesswein is that it's a company from the wider region. They are based in Tyrol, Austria, and on top of that it's a third-generation family business. Their products are mainly made from merino wool, which is a wonderful, natural, breathable material. So all of this suits me perfectly, and it's great that I was able to bring Giesswein on board as a partner. And now it's getting even more cheaper. Cheaper, because if you order from Giesswein using my discount code Munich20, you'll get 20% off. You'll find the link to the shop in the description below. Back in Sendling, north of the market hall, you'll find the Alte Utting. This former Ammersee excursion boat has been moored here on a former railway bridge since 2018. Today the ship is used for cultural events, parties, concerts, or simply as a place to get together over food and drinks. If you're visiting Munich, the Alte Utting is definitely worth a visit. The Flaucher is located at the eastern end of Sendling. The Isar floodplains are one of the most popular destinations for Munich residents. In the summer, families gather here to barbecue, children splash around in the water, and sunbathers lounge on the gravel banks. Flaucher is also notorious for its many nudists. I was there on a still quite chilly spring morning. It was too cold for both sunbathing and splashing around. Flaucher also has a lovely beer garden that seats 2,500 people. So Sendling is not only a city district in Munich and a former village, it actually wrote Bavarian history, because behind me is the old parish church of Sendling, where in 1705 the Christmas massacre happened, a very important date in Bavarian history. If you want to learn more about that, I made a video last Christmas about those events here, and you find it here on the channel. And if you want to be up to date with events in Munich and other useful information for your itinerary, if you want to come here to Munich, feel free to subscribe. I would be very happy if you do that. So let's continue with the video. Around the parish church you can still clearly see the former village center of Sendling. Sendling itself is one of Munich's oldest districts. It was first mentioned in 1779, at the time as Sendlinger, which means the settlement of Sendilo. Of course, no one knows today who this Sendilo was. Sendling was then incorporated into the city in 1877. The Stemmerhof is located directly across from the parish church. The Stemmer family has run this farm since 1381. It wasn't until 1992 that the farm ceased its dairy operations, making it the last farm in the city limits to do so. Today the site is home to restaurants, cultural venues and small shops. The Stemmer family became very wealthy through the sale of land following Sendling's incorporation into the city of Munich. This enabled them to donate the land and a substantial construction grant for the new parish church of St.Margaret. Completed in 1913, St. Margaret's church is one of the largest in Munich. Its architectural style, modeled after the Italian High Baroque, lends it a Mediterranean flair. Inside, it is characterized by a remarkable barrel vault. On the left side, a niche houses a memorial to the residents of Sendling who fell in the World Wars. Outside the main street of the old village center, Sendling naturally has a very urban feel. Harras in particular has a distinctly metropolitan atmosphere. On the eastern side of the square stands the post office building, a typical example of the classical modernism of the Weimar Republic. The buildings to the north, on the other hand, are pure Art Nouveau, with their play for ornamentation. Lastly, I would have loved to show you the old Jewish cemetery here, but it's usually closed to the public and can only be visited on guided tours. Sendling might not be the most famous part of Munich, but it's one of the most authentic. From early mornings at the wholesale market to quiet corners full of history. This is a side of the city most visitors never get to see. If you'd like to explore places like this in person, feel free to join one of my guided tours here in Munich. You'll find my homepage and email address here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Philip.